those of you who don't know, Bill has been one of the North East's most successful magicians, DJs and entertainers over the past 30 years. His last 15 working years were spent building his company Fifth Dimension, along with his two colleagues. This was, and still is, a training company which uses magic to convey key learning messages. Bill and I got married in 2007, and we were very happy, and still are. We loved every day of his life. Bill loved every day of his life, and always remarked how lucky he was to be doing a job which was also his hobby. A few years later, when he was 62, telltale signs of early onset dementia made their presence felt. Nothing too obvious at first: spelling mistakes, muddling up messages, mixing up dates, but enough to alert me. Bill was one of the sharpest and most well-organised people I'd ever met. So it made me anxious. Bill did as he was told and went to the GP, who referred Bill to Cornhill for further tests. 3 months later, we got the diagnosis we feared, but which I knew in my heart was coming. Bill had Alzheimer's disease, and that was 4.5 years ago. Bill's symptoms were very mild for the first year, so he didn't have any medication. He started taking Aricept the following year and decided to retire. He's tolerated Aricept well, and we believe it has slowed down the progression of his disease. But getting such a diagnosis is pretty devastating, and we certainly felt as though our world had been turned on its head. We were both very low for a couple of months as we contemplated this unknown future. The turning point came when Bill decided to create a bucket list of places he wanted to visit while he still could. It was suggested to us that we might have about 3 good years ahead, so we agreed to bring the pension years forward and enjoy them now. It really lifted Bill's spirits to plan these holidays, and so it lifted mine. Bill will now tell you a bit about the places we've been to so far, and will show you some pictures which help tell his life story. But before he does that, he wants to share some health advice with you. So without further ado, can you stand there so they can see you?
Yes.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you that doctors recommend that you eat 5 portions of fruit every single day. But obviously, if you like bananas, that's a good idea. But you can't have too many bananas, so that's the point. So obviously, it's very good for perhaps an apple, because as you know, an apple a day will keep the doctor away, so obviously that's very good for you. Also, oranges, very good. Vitamin C, so that must be very good. Or indeed, one of the ones I like is plums, and 2 plums make a pear. Retiring at 63 because of dementia was probably the last thing I thought would happen to me. It didn't run in the family. I've always been healthy and fit. I've had a wonderful career and loved every minute of it. I've had so many stories and still have lots of worries and
Memories.
Oh, beg your pardon.
Yeah, lots of memories.
Lots of memories. They're all little mixed up and all over the place, but still, they still make me smile. Nothing makes me happier than to pull out some of the stops, happier and put on the face, and lots of smiles on faces. I have sadly to hang up my magic wand, but there's still life of the old dog yet.
Absolutely.
Travelling has left us both to live at the moment and enjoy what we've got. Anne and I have been to many, many places over the last 4 years, and I've never imagined going to places such as India, Jamaica, South Africa, America, Australia, Thailand, and lots more. Assuming that we haven't run out of money, of course, yes.
So here's a few pictures that tell Bill's life stories. Hang on a sec.
I was born in Torry. I am a Torry boy. I loved my childhood. It was brilliant. Loved it. I joined the RAF when I was 18. I was a photographic interpreter. During that time in the RAF, I discovered the love for entertaining, and having been there, I learned a little bit of magic, and with that, I was in there, loving it. When I returned to Aberdeen, it was up to me on Saturdays that I had a show called Bill's Magic Box. After Bill's Magic Box, I was offered a 10-part series called Spyglass. And this is an educational show, and this was more for schools. And I loved every minute of the magic, and especially with the kids. They were lovely. 15 years ago, I found with Fifth Dimension, my colleagues, Jeff and Ivor, we were the bee's knees at the time. Fifth Dimension is a training company which uses magic to convey learning messages. We also did many cabaret shows. This is a little something of me doing the table magic on one of the many functions I've had the pleasure of entertaining. I've always chopped heads off. I was quite good at it, and I'm good to say that I never made a mess, which is very good to know. I've been an active I've been an active member of the Aberdeen Magical Society for over 30 years. And last year I was very proud to be made an honorary president, which made me really up in the throat. It was lovely. Just to let you show a couple of things, this is us at the Grand Canyon. Beautiful, amazing. Also to a place that we loved. It was fantastic. It's called Monument Valley. It was lovely, excellent, loving it. We also loved San Francisco. Fabulous. Also riding in South Africa. You've got to say it that way, South Africa. Lowering the tone to the Taj Mahal. Oh, lovely stuff. Enjoying Thailand.
I loved Thailand.
I did indeed.
To me. 18 months ago, I read an article in the P&J about a drug trial. This drug was known as LMTX, and the hope was that it could be a cure for Alzheimer's that the world and ourselves were looking for. Suddenly, there was some unexpected hope. The trial was in its third and final stage, so I called and asked if Bill could be considered. He was found to be a suitable candidate, and so was accepted. He's been on it for a year now, and has about another 3 months or so to go before we find out whether he's on a placebo or the real thing. Either way, all participants will be offered the drug at the end, so it's a win-win situation. At least, that's how we see it. The hope that it's given us is immeasurable. We've seen no miraculous changes in Bill, but who knows what the future might hold. And I couldn't have said that a year ago, as before the trial, I knew only too well. One of the big advantages of being on the trial has, for us, been the opportunity to meet other people in the same boat as ourselves. Most of the other trial members are on the younger side too, and it has been really beneficial to go along to monthly meetings run by the wonderful research team headed by Helen Lemon. It has also provided me with an unexpected source of support from the research team, who we've really got to know, with it being such a long trial. Another great source of support and advice has been from Sarah Gagan and her team from Alzheimer's Scotland. The latest very exciting project they are undertaking is the development of a new resource centre in King Street. They are tireless and always thinking of new ways to fundraise. But for me, the single most important factor that makes the biggest positive impact on our lives is Bill's continued determination to live life to the full. Yes, he gets very frustrated with himself, of course, when he can't do the things he could, can't find the words he's looking for. But on the whole, he is positive and upbeat. No longer able to perform magic, he now sings at a number of old folks' homes. He has only ever been able to strum 3 chords, but you'd never believe how many songs he can adapt. The old folk love it, and so does Bill. Ever the entertainer, still Bill. And finally back to you, Bill.
So by chance, I wrote my memoirs from my daughter a couple of years ago before Alzheimer's. Now with my illness, which robs me of my memories, but I dip into it most days to remind myself of very places that I've been. It's been invaluable. So if I can give you, all of you, a little bit of advice and what you should be able to do your own memoirs. It's fun to do, and you never know how handy it might be in the future.
So one last little bit, if I can get it right.
That's it.
Thank you.